In today's video, we're answering the question, what is personal growth and why is it important? If you've ever felt stuck in some aspect of your life and you're wondering how to level up, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what personal growth is, but why it is absolutely the key to everything else that you want to accomplish with your life and relationships. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I am the positivity psychologist. I didn't start out that way. In my early career, I was practicing traditional outpatient psychotherapy. And then about 15 years in, I made a huge shift over to positive psychology, which is all about personal growth and personal development. Think about this for a moment. When you put your mental health on a spectrum or a continuum, clear over on the left end is the sick end. That's where we have diagnosis, pathology, treatment, all those fun things are over here. Well, what's on the other end of that? And that's what really lights me up. So to understand that, if we go to the middle first, that's health, meaning not sick. You know, you could be sick in bed with a fever. There comes a time you get out of bed and you're not sick. But that doesn't mean you're fit, thriving, prospering. That's over here on this end of the spectrum. The principles that I've learned through my career in professional psychology apply across the entire spectrum. But I was getting a little frustrated earlier in my career when my clients would make progress and they'd get out of bed, so to speak. They no longer qualified for a diagnosis. And then the insurance companies pulled the plug and said, well, thanks, doc, we're done. Well, my clients and I both knew we weren't done. There's all of this on the other end of the spectrum. But that's not part of traditional psychotherapy. Unfortunately, the term psychotherapy sounds a little like therapy for psychos, and that's unfortunate because the principles that allow us to make progress and actually get out of that sick range can help us to move forward, to create and live a life that we love. That's what personal growth is all about. One of my colleagues was sharing with me that he was called into a company to help with some of the personnel issues that were going on. And in particular, one of the executives in this company was showing up late for every meeting. And this was becoming a problem, and it was very disrespectful to his coworkers. So my colleague was invited to have a conversation with him. And here's basically how it went. My colleague told this man, you're not late for work. You're late for life. And this puzzled him a little bit. He's like, what are you talking about? How you do anything is how you do everything. Let me say that again. How you do anything is how you do everything. You're not just showing up late for the meeting. You're showing up late to the office. You're showing up late to your son's soccer game. You're showing up late to your daughter's piano recital. You're showing up late to your wedding anniversary, aren't you? And this man just got tears in his eyes as he realized, you know what? It's right. And this is an example of how you do anything is how you do everything. That's why personal development and personal growth is at the core of everything that you do. I am a professional speaker. I get paid to go to the conference and provide the keynote or breakout sessions for leadership groups or associations. I was talking with one of my colleagues in the speaking industry about this. We both get to go to these conferences. We both have seen that organizations, especially direct sales or multi-level marketing companies, they know the power of bringing in a speaker to inspire their people. And they pay big dollars for that to happen. But then there's no process for following up and giving them tools to get their daily dose, their positives that they need to combat all of the negatives that we face out there in the world. Have you noticed the negatives? All you have to do is turn on the news or watch your social media feed. Negatives. everywhere we look. Where are you going to get your positives? Even though we know that it's important, sometimes we don't build in the processes to make that a daily practice, to do the things that are necessary to get our positives. Personal growth expands your capability to experience happiness, to have satisfaction in your relationships, to be productive at work. Which area of your life are you most focused on improving right now? And you can even leave a comment down below in the comments. Share what it is that you're working on. I bet you're not alone in that. Personal growth and development allows us to improve every aspect of our life. There's one more point that I wanted to share with you today. Before we get to that, I invite you to try something just for the next 5 days. I call this the gratitude power up. And this is powerful. Now, you've probably done it before, right? Where you do a gratitude journal or a gratitude list. But most people, when they do their gratitude list, they do it wrong. Different. Where they list all of the good things, right? You've probably been there. So you're starting your list and you say, okay, I'm grateful for family, yes, and health, and puppies, and rainbows, and indoor plumbing. And we write down all the things that are easy to be grateful for. Anybody can do that. The equivalent would be like if you go to the gym. Okay, you go to the gym every day, you're going to get stronger, right? Well, what if you go to the gym and you reach down on the reception desk and you pick up that pencil that's sitting on the reception desk and you give it 5 reps with the right and 5 reps with the left, and then you set it back down on the reception desk, come back tomorrow. You're going to get stronger. Not. You're wimping out. Do you want to wimp out or do you want to work out? To work out, you've got to put on some weight. You've got to do some heavy lifting. And writing down what's easy to be grateful for is the wimp out. Here's the workout. You pick something that is hard, difficult, frustrating, annoying, kicking your butt a little. Have you got something? Because we can get you something. Pick one of those. You've got one. A couple of years ago, my oldest son calls me, Dad, I have cancer. What is your cancer? And I just defined it for many of the people that you're surrounded by. But what is your equivalent of that? Okay, and I'm not saying be grateful for the cancer. I'm saying open it up and look inside of there. Rummage around, see what you can find that you are grateful for. Put that on your list. You know what I found in that cancer of my son? 9 trips to Chicago, where 5 of my grandkids, he's raising 5 of my grandkids out in Chicago. We live in Utah. So that was a trip. But we got to go visit our grandkids to support those cancer treatments. Am I grateful for that? Yes. Am I grateful for the cancer? Well, that's harder. But you know what? That's where I found it. Look inside of, whatever your cancer is and find something you're grateful for. Put it on the list. If you'll do 5 of those each day. And you remember, do you want to work out or do you want to wimp out? Not the freebies. Not the puppies and rainbows. I'm talking about the cancer. What can you find in there? Put that on your list. And if you'll do this for 5 days, I promise, 2 things are going to happen. The first one is obvious and selfish. The first one is your life gets better. How cool is that? But that's the selfish part. Because the other thing that happens is you get to show up in a more energy-rich, powerful way for the people that you lead, for the people who are in your home, for everyone who comes in contact with you, and they need that version of you. That's the less selfish part. Are you ready to put together a serious personal development plan? I've created another video that will walk you through some basic steps to get a powerful personal development plan in place. This video is how to make a successful and fulfilling personal development plan. I've got you on this. I'll see you in that next video.